Alright, folks, we are going to continue with artwork for the Spelljammer and Combat Exploration supplement that we're creating. Give me a moment here to check my signal. I'm running a little late today, but we're going to be okay. So let me check out my signal. I'm a little late today, but we're going to be okay. Check out my signal. I'm a little late today, but we're going to be okay. Mic check. Getting some stuff into the gun. Mic check. Getting some stuff into the gun. Alright, so that obviously makes a difference. Okay, great. Let's see. I'm going to... did I get that? Hold on. I am exhausted. I was supposed to get more sleep last night, but I didn't. I was working on page layouts instead, so I am just freaking dead on my feet. So let's see how much fun this ends up being. I'm gonna punch some signals across the Discord. And then we will get back into page production here. My name is Phil. Hey, I create RPG supplements. I've been focused mostly on 5th edition, creating supplements on the DMsGuild, which are linked down below. There's a slew of books that are linked there, and they're all 100% free previews. So if you're an art enthusiast, there's maybe about 150 some odd different illustrations on the covers and throughout the books. Hey, good morning. And, oops, that means I'm too late. Yeah, so yeah, check out the books down below. They're all 100% free preview. You can read them all 100% cover to cover. If you're a D&D enthusiast and any of that stuff tickles your fancy, certainly purchase some to support the effort. If you just want to look at the art and if the ideas are neat, but it's not your style, no harm. I put them out there 100% free so that people know what they're getting before they get them. So there's no harm in taking a look, and if you eventually just want to support the channel, I'm sure you'll either like, subscribe, or whatever it is that people do to show support to other people these days. But I finished punching my signal. I am checking all the boxes. And we're going to move our, boy oh boy, we're going to set a timer here for 20 minutes. It's almost 6:20 here in Seattle, so we got 100 minutes. We're going to be okay. So, fresh cup of coffee. Let's see, where's my screen at? Okay, yeah, this book cover we created maybe back around episode 15, so you can check out that production. My gal's shouting at me saying that Spelljammer text is too red. It's overwhelming the page, and so we're gonna come back and visit that, but I don't think we're going to do that today. We're doing page art production, so let us get into this. Here is the Word program that we use to do all our text and layouts. So we have been working up through, we're now in the combat section over here. So I'm going to, let's see, what page is that? 11. I'm going to extract this document. Let me make sure I know what I need. Page 11. We're going to work on page 11 and 12 today. That is the only, in these pages here, this 1, 2, 3 pages will end up probably sprawling out to 4 pages. And then we got the ship rolls here that we've broken down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages worth of ship command rolls, and then the rest of the chapter, which is weapons and crew, we have yet to break down into individual page chunks. So we'll get there. We just got to take this thing just like in little bites at a time that we can keep pushing through it. So one of the things that you run it, and I'm gonna see if I can talk. See if I can talk and walk at the same time. Good luck, yo. One of the things that you find when you start breaking down a document is how does the text lay on the page, and what is actually needed for you to be able to get the layout that you want in your document. Like it's pretty famous, like the murder comments that appear in, this is page 11, 12, and 13. So we should be good there. Let's go to File and then Export as a, I'll talk about this ramble point in a second. Hold on real quick. Logs, chapter, cover, interior pages. And we'll call this SC&E layouts 11 to 13. And we'll go to our extraction options and just go with from page 11 to 13. We'll drop off marks, go with document, no properties, no structure tags. That stuff is going to be okay. Okay. Pub. Okay, so here's a PDF. These are the 3 pages we have for the PDF. I still have the background infused into the document. I'm just going to leave it there, but I'll need to clear that out, and we'll end up messing around with the background color space once we start putting in. Once the book is fully laid out, I can sketch stuff here for now, but once it's actually fully laid out, we'll build filigree and page dressing and stuff to frame the page. And I'm going to need to do something to distinguish. The challenge I'm having right now is that with the equipment and spell jamming ship section, I don't have any intro text leading from the section into the text. And I have the bandwidth to be able to move the text around to do so. I just don't know what it is that I want to save there. Contrast that with moving down here into spell jamming ships. I got plenty to say, but that's not a chapter. That's a section inside the chapter. We also have pre-generated ships, which is a subsection, but not its own chapter. I've got little things to say about the subsection here. So hey, Hornetico, it's good to see you, my dude. Let's move that over, but so I can make that work. And now here's the next chapter, combat, and I have something to say about combat here. And I've opened up this space, and then the next section is maps and movements, and then we get down into ship rules later on, which I also have things to say about. But it's an inconsistency, and honestly, it's just burning a hole in my brain. So I'm gonna drop that off. There's nothing I'm gonna do about it right now. But I do have that, so I want to extract those pages. Where do I want to extract? I want to extract them to Photoshop. That's where we're at. I'm on 3 hours of sleep on top of 3 hours of sleep the night before. I am ground. I am so ground down. But this is what page layouts do. So we're going to click, click, and click. Open these. This is, well, you guys get to see how I make these things. So this is great. That's kind of the point. I did not need this page. This page is not yet done, so I don't know why I bothered extracting that one. Save changes? No. This is page 12. This is page 11. So let's go ahead and file, save as on the computer, equals Spelljammer production, interior art, 1 to 10. We'll just save it here for now. SC11. We'll lovingly call it page 11. There you go, buddy. Love ya. And now let's go to, and I'll have to put page numbers on this thing too. We're going to save as lovingly titled page 11, page 12. I had a point I was making, and I think I'm going to go back to making that point. So give me a hot second here. The point is that page layouts, goofy formatting, how do you fix it? Wizards of the Coast is pretty famous for having said that they had to come up with murder comets because the layout gap created a page between whatever L and whatever N existed. And they're like, we need an M, what can we do? Or like Megapede and Space Clowns or something. There's like, we have a gap, we need to fill that gap. Let's make up a new creature we can fill that gap, right? So much easier than getting rid of stuff, adding things. So that's kind of the problems that you run into when you're doing page layouts. It's like you've got your document and then you lay it out. It's like, in my case, I was looking at maps and movement speed, and I had like 6 paragraphs of just rambling about movement, about just ship movement in general. It's like, oh my god, this can surely be done an easier way. And so I hemmed it down to get rid of that extra space, and I was able to then incorporate this into a single page and and thus on and you know, I can get rid of that now. Cool. And then that opened up the space for me to be able to have this scaling text, which I assume is okay. I am going to just, I think I'm just going to click save and click save. There's text I'm ignoring. Let's see what it says. As someone who stayed up until 2:30 in the morning, I feel your pain. Hell yeah, my dude. Hell yeah. Okay, great. So yeah, we're just gonna do some doodling. Let's see where this thing goes. So SC&E provides. We've already defined SC&E means Spelljammer combat and exploration. So SC&E provides rules that add options for characters to command ships. Sorry, I actually kind of like the cadence here. SC&E provides rules that add options for characters to command spelljamming ships at map scales larger than 5-foot squares, typical of most adventures during a round of combat. It's like cellar door. It feels like cellar door. I just like how that text breaks down and how those words roll when you say them. So it's just a good cadence, and it lines up with the title. So it's good. I'll keep it. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to add just a quip. Like a little pithy quip sort of thing like that up at the front chapter with the equipment and Spelljammer. I'm going to end up rearranging that text, which may be why we were having so much trouble thinking of what fucking illustration do we need in that lower right-hand corner, because I'm going to eat that space with the page layout rearrangement. But I'm not there yet. It's just something I know is going to end up happening. So I'm happy about that. I like the change. So let's see. You guys should be able to. Here, I'm going to open this up a little bit more so you guys can look at text. I drop down. Maybe you guys can see. I don't even know if people can see that or not. Hold on. God, it'd be really nice if you'd be able to read that while I'm doing things. Where we go? Come on, man. There we. Wait. Where'd it go? Hold on. Am I caught in a loop? Shit, I'm caught in a degrading loop. Oh my god, get me out. That's horrible. Don't ever let me do that again. That was the worst. I'm gonna see. We'll position that there. That way you guys can look at that. So you can read it if you want to. It should be a high enough resolution at 1080 that you can read it. But that's not my problem right now, because we're going to do a full walkthrough of this thing when we're done anyways. It's like 98 pages right now, and it's probably going to stay around 100 pages. I'd like it to break 100 pages. Either that or stay at 97. I haven't really decided yet. But let's see. Closing with stationary objects, time-space distortion, closing with moving objects, and then we go into range of combat. So let's see, we're just doing combat-y stuff. I'm going to go back to the page 10 that we have here, because we were playing with some pre-generated ships here. So I think what would be probably fun. Nope. I'm just messing around right now, so we're trying to see what we can do. Okay. Doodlebug go. Damn it, Doodlebug. Doodlebug go. Okay, we're gonna just do some. I'm just gonna do some doodling. That needs to be a round brush. What happens if I keep this? So right now we're just kind of doing, like, you know, the My brain is so fried. Right now, we're just trying to create quick sketches, filling the space, and trying to catch the mood. So, get out of here, Scallywag. Oh my God, what are you doing? Thank you. All right, well, hey, there's happy accidents, but everything is as it should be. So I'm just gonna do that. Oh, neat. I'm particularly proud of the drifting mechanics. The way that Wizards, people can disagree with this, but the way that Wizards has the physics of space is that things grind down to like drift to a stop after a while, but doesn't really provide any mechanics as to what that means. And we've got a whole section down in the exploration chapter about drift speeds, depending on like where you start and where you end. Like if you for example, if you fall off the side of a ship, right, and you're moving at 100 million miles per day, then there's that laugh. There's that little streamer laugh. I've been noticing that a lot of streamers have like this little quiet, soft chuckle that they exude while they speak when they are talking about themselves, something they observe about themselves, or something that they have some sort of a stake in. And I can't think of whom right now because my brain is completely fried. But like they do that little kind of thing while they're talking, and it's like a humble mark that they're trying to throw at themselves, recognizing that this is their own thoughts and it may be disagreed with, but it's something on my radar. I'm noticing it, that I have picked up that habit, and normally when I express that little half chuckle, it's when I want to be bold and I am and it's some like I'm going to make a declaration of some sort, and I don't want to act like I'm some sort of all-ending authority about stuff. Like this book is just ideas that I came up with that just happen to work really, really well. And I don't know if anyone's going to actually like the work or not, but it's something I'm excited and proud of. So I self-sabotage myself by doing a little when I mention something I'm talking about. So it's on my radar. It's a thing I'm gaining awareness of. I gotta say, I'm feeling miserable at expressing it, but Toastmasters is an organization that helps you stop doing things like going between words, which I'm failing at miserably because I'm exhausted. So don't public speak when you're exhausted. But it's really good about gaining self-awareness, and I participated in Toastmasters for maybe a year or so back in my early 30s, and what it really ingrained into me is just having that ability to self-analyze in the moment and be self-aware of the speech habits that you pick up, your own patterns. Since my early 20s, I had become aware that I became self-conscious of my laugh. And am I crazy, or is there text appearing and disappearing in the margins? And there's that self-ingratiating laugh again. I feel crazy because I keep seeing things flipping in the sidebar, and I'm wondering if it's just weirdness on my screen or if there's actually somebody jumping in and out of text. Not gonna lie, when you said drift, I imagined Dotson drifting in space. Hell yeah, dude! Hell yes! But so I was trying to talk about how proud I am, and then I got on this crazy little side tangent. But I love the drift mechanics because it talks about over time things drift to a stop. And when we get to this section, we'll obviously be able to see it. And I'm going to do a page turner when the whole thing is done. So, but the point is that ammunition, when you fire something and you miss, you're just shooting something off into the void. It will drift to a stop.
over time. And I just like that in the ammunition section of the weapons and crew subsection inside of combat later down in the chapter, like maybe 20 pages from now. I think it's 20 pages from now. It talks about like when you miss and the ammo is just free flying through space. Like I think it's siege weapons are large enough. Like the distant, yeah, the size of the object and it's I think it's a day. I believe it's 20. I'm not gonna go back and find it right now, but if I recall correctly, it's a day of travel. So like a random encounter you can have in wild space is all of a sudden you just get hit by 15 ballista bolts and it just completely fucks your ship up. And so your ship loses stability and now you got to fix it and you're drifting yourself, and then you run into a battlefield of just shredded ships. It's like, oh, there was a battle here, and we walked into it and got 8. Another thing that I think is a really fun encounter is a bunch of autonomes that don't have, they don't have to breathe because they're robots. But just having a bunch of them just drifting out here in the void, so when your ship runs into contact, they awaken, shing, and pull out weapons and start jumping onto your deck and chopping up your ship. I think that's a really fun thing to do too. But we're just kind of, we are just making. Obviously, I'm spending more time than I should on this ballista bolt, but it's. I like how Spelljammer doesn't need to necessarily just create a normal ballista. I can make fantastical ballistas that are like fancy and look interesting and have like an organic quality, which is something I can illustrate easily, as opposed to a highly technical illustration of a piece of engineering that it would just absolutely piss me off over time if I have to be super precise about the perspective of all the architecture that goes into building a siege machine. So I want to sidestep all that crap and make a fanciful ballista, but I also want to make sure. Hey, timely timer. I want to make sure that we're doing something that's going to make sense. So I'm like building this thing. Like this. And it might not even be a good idea. That's the problem we have with ideation. I can create these things and it might not even be a good idea. So, but right here, I think I'm about to the point where I can like put this down as a base. But the whole book is about moving and attacking and basically conducting combat like in 5th edition at the 5-foot scale in a dungeon, and expand on the size so that you can have the same action economy and decision making that you would have at the 50 and 500 foot scale, or potentially even larger, so that you can fluidly integrate spell jamming or any kind of vehicle combat into the action routine that your character is performing. So, like you can break up your 11th level fighter. It's so funny. Like something you have to be aware of. Something I have to be aware of is that most people don't play 20 level campaigns. But Spelljammer was very, very much about high-level campaigns. Like you could, the old 2nd edition stuff, it was like you could start your campaign at 1st level if you want to, but be aware that wild space is dangerous, and generally we recommend like 8th level, 8th, 9th, and plus level characters to be active in Spelljammer. It's not built for low-level characters. There's Illithid swarms and Beholder hives, and Yogi are nightmares with just like Umber Hulk minions, Umber Hulk minions. Like Umber Hulks are like CR4 creatures. I could do a price check on that, but that's like those are hardcore monsters, man. And they freaking hypnotize you if they they confuse you. If you fail a saving throw, which is awesome because if you just dump an Umber Hulk onto somebody's deck, they can, oh my god, they can just start tearing up your crew. It's horrible. That just really kind of inspired me here. So I'm really glad I ramble as I do. Because I feel like now I want to do just Neogi. I was going to do like an Illithid or a Beholder Tyrant ship, but now I feel like I want to do a Neogi. What I really want to do is be able to do a light sketch sort of feeling for spelljamming ships. Like I want to get good at doing mecha, you know, like vehicles and mecha combat and stuff like that. I want to be able to illustrate those things, and honestly, this book has given me a really cool opportunity to bravely step into the biomech space that I am not familiar. Like I'm good with organic stuff, which is why I ended up doing fantasy illustration. But my first love was Robotech, and more than anything else, I wanted to create Robotech mecha. And at 12 years old, I'm like, God, this requires a ridiculous amount of precision. And like all true artists, instead of figuring out how to do it, I bailed and switched genre into fantasy. It just so happens that while Robotech was happening in America, that's when I started playing D&D. So, hold on, let's... Yerp. Man, let me tell you something. Mecha is hard. Hell yeah, it is, dude. I spent way too much time yesterday trying to draw a mini comic project. Oh, cool. Gonna lie when he said drift. So let's see. That is like that and there. So this is an opportunity for me to figure out how to create aesthetically pleasing ship stuff. I don't know how it'll be rough. It will be rough. Here and then here. I'm so far down the creative skill set that I'm making bubbles like a how-to draw book. Like a freaking how to draw Spelljammer book. Like, here's your bubble. Here's a smaller bubble. That's the head. And then you press the look good button, and then magically it just looks like a spelljamming ship. Fuck you. I really, really am tired. And the largest risk that goes on with that is me tunnel visioning into a small piece of art that is insignificant to the larger scale of the project, which I am recognizing I am inside of right now. So, but hey, it's okay. Here and here. So we can have this menacing in a distance. I think once I figure it out, I think it's going to be really cool. I think figuring out is going to be really obnoxious. Hopefully not to the... I'm hoping that my crowd of followers enjoy watching me just utterly fail occasionally. I suspect that's where a lot of the lure of this channel comes from, because half the time I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I'm just trying to figure it out. It's not like I'm an expert at this stuff. It's just I've just made a slew of books before, and I'm cocky enough to keep trying to do it. There. Okay, that looks crappy for now, but that's okay. Here, that's obviously I'm not done. There we go. It's like I'm 12 just playing. It's like I'm 12 playing tanks. I used to draw tanks and spaceships and fighter stuff all the time, and like, you know, like I'm 5 years old and I've got a spiral book of line graph paper, and I'm trying to figure out how can I keep that line art from getting in the way of my idea of this super cool tank that will totally never exist. But that's kind of like what that like you catch a kid with a spiral of paper and he's trying to draw tanks and helicopters and robots and stuff. It's like, okay, that kid's gonna absolutely not do any schoolwork at all. All he's going to end up doing is just art all his life. And here I am. So I like that. Okay, so what I can do is this is I haven't like technically illustrated any of these ships before. I've created those ship tokens that we have, but those are just schematics, and honestly I got to lean on the property that Wizards already has. They already built for us, so it's not like it was difficult for me to be able to extrapolate the token art that we have. But these little things they're challenging. So anyway, okay, that's good enough for now. So we got that. And let's see. Let's go back to here. And let's find. We are on a space galleon. So I can have a square back. Hey, I've not had the energy to draw. Got the oh god, and I'm feeling left fatigued. God, yes, man. It's that is okay. There's a big secret about sickness. It's not your fault, and the things that happen to us is just the shit we have to go through. It's the price we pay for being human, which is by far the coolest roller coaster ride in the multiverse, being a human. So enjoy the experience of being sick. Definitely give yourself a break. And by that, I mean spiritually, in that don't beat yourself up over it, but physically, like take the opportunity for you to just absorb media. If there's something that you want to draw, take this opportunity just to consume content relevant to the thing that you want to illustrate, so that you can set yourself up that once you're free from the funk, and don't rush that process. Once you get free from the funk, you're going to have a pent-up urge to be able to just start producing art again. And so if you set yourself up with, oh, this is interesting, and start slow brewing those ideas for yourself, you're going to be able to walk out of that Rona and be really motivated and excited to get your shit kicking. So definitely don't beat yourself up over it. It's not like you don't get punished. You're not sick because you're being punished. You don't get cancer because you're evil. Bad things don't happen to you because you did anything wrong. If you really want to get spiritual about it, all the crap that happens to you during your life is there to either just remind you that you shouldn't take life so seriously, so you get to wear diapers for a while, and let's just be amused by that fact and get over being human, or the suffering that you have to endure and the pain and torment that you're trying to course out of your system is a poison that is keeping you from being aware that this is just a ride. Like Bill Hicks would say, it's just a ride. And part of the ride is getting trapped up into the emotions of how important the ride feels to you. You can't just say, oh, I don't have to worry about it anymore, it's just a ride. Thanks, Phil. It's like, no, you're absolutely going to suffer through all the things that you have to suffer through. The doubt, the anger, the frustration of whoever it is that you're interacting with. That stuff will never go away. But the more you remind yourself it's just a ride, the more you have the opportunity to sit back and say, wait a second, I don't need to take this so seriously. So when you do take it seriously, that's just a dip in the ride. that's causing your heart to sink so that you can get that rush. It was so fascinating watching The Good Place and how much The Good Place aligns with my own personal philosophies of life, the universe, and everything. Of how heaven is utterly boring. And that the only way for you to be able to appreciate the fact that you're dead is to forget that you're dead. Forget everything you know and get born into a body that allows you to experience it all again, so that when the life is over and you go back to being dead again, you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. Because that's the only way you can feel anything anymore. So you throw it like Alan Watson was really famous for trying to introduce Tibetan philosophy into Britain in the 60s. It was the 60s, I think. It may have been I think it was the 60s. And he echoes these sentiments, and I've just started getting into Alan Watts recently in the past couple of years. And it's so funny how much that Tibetan philosophy kind of just emphasizes that, like, you're a dream, and you keep making these further and further out gambles of what am I willing, what can I endure, what can I possibly be, and eventually you get to the point where you're dreaming of who you are currently, becoming self-aware that you're dreaming, which if you're a Queensryche fan, Silent Lucidity, you realize the dream's alive and you can be the guide. And so that is you becoming self-aware that the reality that you exist inside of is a construct, merely there for you to be able to teach yourself to take care of yourself better. It's kind of amazing, in my opinion. I mean, believe whatever you want. You can take that as just a whatever. But to the point, the vid is there to help you slow down. So enjoy the opportunity. Like people that work 60, 70 hours, they get sick. It's because they work too much. Slow the hell down, man. Life is supposed to be fun. So we got this. I want to drop this down to here. I'm spending, I'm exhausted. So I'm not going to beat myself. I'm going to follow my own advice and not beat myself up over how much I'm minging over this ballista, but I can be aware that I'm doing it while I do it. So here, let's see if these things are, let's say it's about this size, so we can do a thing like that. I can start putting some people in here. Here, I don't even need to. I could scale out a bit, right? So let's start throwing stuff into the box, and then the box is going to have a block around it like that, so I can make sure I stay off the text by creating this mask. Mask. Mask is the word I'm looking for. So I can go with, see, you can see there's this large mask here now. And why am I in this color? I'm black. What the fuck? So yeah, I got this mask going so I can't accidentally chew into the text. But there's that. I'm going to, let's go with pretty close. Image, adjustment, brightness levels. There we go. 0, 0, 0. Back to black. So, what up? It's definitely felt like a reminder of the effortless strength I innately have as a man. Really is a luxury and not to be taken for granted. Yeah, right on, man. Nice. Absolutely. Coffee time. Nice. Okay, great. That changed in perspective. Pardon the pun. But yeah, this changed in perspective here. I like how that ballista is now sitting on the page, and I like the distance of that Yogi Night Spider. But we've got, let's see. Yeah, I want to cut this out so it's a separate thing. Pop, pop. Anyway, I ramble, so don't mind me. You know, you suffer the way that you want to suffer. That's not my job to tell you to stop suffering. It's part of the ride. But when you get that perspective, you can be like really chill with other people. It's like, why is this guy being such a dick? It's because he's having a rough ride. It's not personal. You can keep your distance from somebody that's hostile to you. You don't have to be a victim to them if they're, you know, treating you poorly. That is absolutely unforgivable. But you also have the right to recognize where they're at. And that you're going to be that guy sometime soon too. So, you know, you can keep your distance, let them Nova on themselves. And when they wake up, you know, sober up a little bit and they apologize to everybody, you can take them in good faith. Unless, of course, they completely broken everything, in which case, screw you, Oofus. But again, that's it. And also, if you think about that, you're not being inserted blindly into the scenario. Think about this: if you're in heaven and you literally know everything, then you know how your life is going to turn out. You can actually, good place reference, architect your own life existence so that you have the experience that you are actually looking to satisfy. You can have that ultimate RPG feel of dropping yourself into, I don't know, the body of an artist that can't see any color, that decides to paint in color anyway. It's like, oh, that sounds like a fun trick. Let's do that for a while. See how that plays out. Which is why I get so excited about thinking that when I die, I get to see my artwork in color. So that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. But if you think about it as this is an experience that you have the opportunity to enjoy and awaken from, and you know, take notes from even. Let me see, how is that? I'm looking at perspective here real quick. Okay. 1, 2, just not quite. That's filling the space. I want to have this scroll out a little bit more. Like, I really should have more than one person on that ballista. It takes 3 people to fire it properly. But I haven't really built a situation where I can have more people clustered around it. So what that means is I need to erase that. Bring that back in. Curve around like yonder. And then I need to drop down the opacity on this and then open up another one so that I want to keep this here. Like, that's good language. Like, that's good weapon language. So I definitely felt like a reminder of the effortlessness. I feel like I'm crazy. I keep feeling like there's text that's popping over here and I keep missing it. Probably just pixies playing in the periphery of my eye. Fuck you, pixies. Get a guy here. here. And like this guy should be here, like trying to put another one in. So there we go. We can do that. Cover that commander up a bit. Another weapon. Somebody here. So that means I can cut this guy out. Text happens. Love your attitude. Thanks. I want to read compliments about myself. Hold on. I kind of like my attitude towards singing, but I think you win by much. I don't know about that, man. I used to sing. I used to be in a garage band when I was in high school, and I fucking loved performing. Oh my god. I only did a couple shows at the local dive in St. Louis where I went to where I grew up, but man, it was fun. I just love being in front of the crowd. The energy was amazing, just insane. Like just the power, I can see why performers love being on stage, because I love being on stage. It was just a stupid little garage band, and the attention, like there wasn't any adoration at all, but just the amount of energy, just feeling the heat from the lamps, and just the buzz and energy coming off of people of just like what's going on here, like that kind of vibe. It's so electric. You just pull all that energy into you, and you can just redirect it back at them. And if you know your music, you know what you're singing, you can you can just completely punch emotion with that stuff. It's so. I missed a calling, man. Somewhere there's a Phil out there that really got into Zydeco and is just absolutely freaking killing it somewhere in Italy. That is not me. That is not this life. But I can appreciate who that guy is. That proportion is off. I need to make this guy a little bit. One of the mechanics that we have is like a siege machine has like a crew of 3. The die basically the way I'm not going to dive into command dice mechanics right now, but the quick gist is that the number of crew that a weapon requires equals the die size -1. So a ballista fires D4 times 10 siege damage. And siege damage is a type that we built. Instead of having you roll like 4d10 damage on a ballista, I think actually a ballista is like 3d10 in the DMG. I think, I'm not positive, I don't remember, but we decided to make it a d4 instead. It's a very minimal attack. At the ship scale, it'll tear up little craft. And I'm losing the energy on that guy. The kinetics are disappearing. I need to go back before I completely just lose that. He's out of frame there. I can do that. I can do that. Oh yeah, that lets me push this forward again, and I can take this here, Get rid of that guy. I think that's... Is this the way? This is the way. Nice. My gal is not a fan of The Mandalorian at all, but I've gotten her completely hooked on saying this is the way. she runs a construction company, and she uses that term all the time when she's talking to people about like builders and stuff. It's so funny. So funny. This is the way. But okay, yeah. So that means that a ballista needs 3 crew, right? One of the things I like in particular is that the way that the action economy works, it allows you to fire a ballista multiple times per round. If you can get the team, if you have this command die that you're rolling, and the die gets large, it's a proficiency die from the DMG. The variant rule of proficiency dice we use as an attack roll. So you're basically making a like a siege weapon proficiency check or a skill check when you're commanding weapons to fire, and you're using your rank as a commander. If you're an NPC or a character, uses the character level, determines the proficiency die that you roll as part of your ability check. It's a proficiency die plus ability check. Plus a d20 roll equals your attack roll. We're just using variant rules from the DMG for this book, and so like at 5th level you're rolling a d6 plus your other modifiers, and that d6 is the command die. And the command die is your recharge die. There's recharge dice like a Dragon's Breath. On a roll of 5 or 6 on a d6, they reload. They reload their breath weapon. They can fire again. Command dice work the exact same way. While you're commanding a crew, their proficiency die is your recharge die, and it's a below number. So if your crew number is 3, your recharge die is 3. Or your target, your reload target is 3. So this guy is in the process of reloading the weapon while this guy is actively firing it. And so the thing is that if you're in command of that crew and you're adjacent to the weapon, you can contribute as a crew member on that siege crew. If you're missing crew member, your recharge die gets higher. The recharge score gets higher. So like if I'm supposed to have 3 crew on a ballista and I've only got 2, then I have to roll, instead of a 3 or higher on my command die, now I have to roll a 4 or higher on my command die. Because I have less people there, it's less likely I'm going to hit the target number necessary. But the more proficient the crew is at using the machine, the higher rank the crew is, the lower the die gets. So if you have a crew of 2nd rank militiamen or a weapon crew, if you have a weapon crew of 2nd or higher rank, that's going to drop the die roll on a ballista from a 3 down to a 1. And so when you roll a command die, it is impossible for you to not reload the weapon. You'll automatically be able to fire once. If you have like a fighter with 11th level fighter that can fire 3 times per round, you can make 3 attacks per round. You can have him order that militia crew to load and fire the weapon 3 times during your round of combat. But you have to hit the number on the reload die every time. So it's highly likely on a ballista that you're going to roll a 1 or a 2. But like at 1st level, you're only rolling a d4. At 5th level, you're rolling a d6, then a d8, then a d10, and then at 17th level plus, you're rolling a d12, right? So you can work bigger and bigger weapons, or you can have multiple weapons and you add up all of their crew members, and that becomes your command die roll to be able to fire all the weapons together. So if I have 2 ballista that I'm trying to fire and they each have a reload score of say 2, now I have to roll 4 or higher to fire both of those ballistas. But they only do d4 damage against, like d4 times 10 damage, up to 40 damage against ships that have like 400 hit points. So it's like basically it'd be like having 40 hit points, and I'm going to hit you for D4 hit points per turn, because you could drop that times 10 siege damage multiplier to just get a rough idea of like how much damage are we actually doing to these ships. These ships are, everything in here basically operates as though you're like around 5th to 9th level. That's like the sweet spot of D&D, and all of this combat mechanic stuff operates inside of that sweet spot. If you get rid of the times 10 damage multiplier and you get rid of the times 10 hit points that they have. But then you can use your own hit points while you're piloting as an energy shield to take that damage instead. So instead of taking D4 times 10 damage to my ship, I as a pilot can take just D4 damage, which doesn't sound like a lot, except the first level character only has like, what, 12 hit points? That sucks. That's a lot of damage. I actually need my ship to take that 30 siege damage, even though it only has 120 hit points. I need it to take that 30 damage, because I can only personally take 2 or 3 hits like that before I'm unconscious, and we need a new pilot. So you have a healer that's hanging out with you, healing the pilot to keep them aware while they're taking all this bioshock from siege weapons and energy shots and stuff that's coming in on that's attacking the ship. That's kind of the core philosophy that we have behind how the combat and exploration system works, and it's a really far. It's a pretty radical concept, but it's just using all the mechanics that we already have in the DMG with these alternate these variant rules. Like Ravnica used the variant. Okay, I'm actually really happy with how that's sitting. Why is my timer not going off? What is going on with my clock? Oh, because we're down to 5 minutes. Okay, life is as it should be. It's time for me to take a cup of coffee. Good. We're doing good here. I'm going to call this crew. And we're going to call this Nyogi. So we can push the crew forward. Now we're making bacon. I was not able to paint last night on stream. I had a thing happen here that required my attention. I hate missing a shift of art, because I like to treat this place as my job, but we got some sickness going on in the household that we need to take care of, so I had to be off screen. But that means I get to do artwork tonight, so I'll be back on stream. God, maybe as early as 5 o'clock. It could be 7. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to be streaming tonight, and I think I'm going to be streaming Eberron. So it'll probably be like around 5 o'clock my time. Like in 10 hours, I'll do another couple hours of Eberron art. So I'm really excited about that. I was disappointed that life happens, and I wasn't able to do that thing, but I get to tonight. Okay, so I got these 3 guys here, and I get to take this guy and pull him forward a bit. Take that guy here and here. So a commander can be part of the crew. So if you only have 2 crew members, instead of pushing your reload score to 4, if the commander is adjacent to the weapon, they quote unquote contribute to the reload of the weapon. So right now, I'm just trying to create an illustration of. Drop that down a bit more. He's fine. That's the one. I want to drop back a bit like that. Pull that forward. Oh, fucking perfect. Thank you. Ho, ho, ho. I have thoughts within thoughts. Plans within plans. Let's see if I can pull this off here. Mighty pose. That's using muscle. This is muscle magic we got going on over here, man. Got some real Full Metal Alchemist action going on. You can take a feat to change. It's the command. So it's the command die plus your proficiency check, your proficiency modifier. Plus the D20 die roll, which sounds weird, but that paces you slowly. Like at second level, you're going to get that +2 and a D4. It puts a cap on how quickly you're going to be able to scale up your attack rolls with these things. But you can take a feat that allows you to replace your proficiency modifier with the stat of your choice, which is your what is it? It's called Commanding Presence. Is the title, and so you can choose your strength modifier to be your command modifier. So you're just like literally muscle magic. you get to use your muscle to motivate your crew, or dexterity to aim, or like intelligence to logic out to monitor, to determine where's the best angle of attack. Wisdom to have the insight as to where the next fire should land. Charisma to inspire your crew to do gooder. All that stuff. So it's a little easy peasy feat. But there we go. I can put him here and put this guy Ammon Ra and flip him to here. Ika Ballista does D6 times 10 damage and has a crew of 5, so its reload score is 5. And a trebuchet does a D8 times 10 siege damage. And these are actually pretty close to the damages that they actually do in the DMG. It's slightly different for simplicity, but it's close. It's within a few. I need to change his angle. Very good. I need to make sure he looks like he's carrying something, not attacking with something. So we put his arms like this, so he's gripping it. So it doesn't look like he's attacking. God, this art is horrible right now. It's okay. We're just sketching stuff. We're just putting things down. It's not a final document of any sort. But this is this is what we gotta do. Okay, so now I feel like I need to push them there and then pull this guy back. By free transform. Hey, flip vertical again. There we go. That's the kind of look I want. Like that. Now I can make this guy a little smaller. There. That looks a little out of proportion, so I'm going to drop him down to here. And put this guy back into power pose. That arm is kind of conflicting with where that guy is at, so I can. Yeah, I'm not jiving on you, dude. You gotta go. I'm cool with these two guys. Boy, this stuff is challenging. There, I'm crowding it. This should be here. So we go from there. Just a touch. Raise that up. This guy. Here, here. I can drop the whole thing down here. Oh God, what happens if I gotta keep that line there open. That's the challenge. I want to keep this line here. Like I need to keep this space open so you can see the interaction that's starting to happen. But that means that I have to have stuff over here. No, I think I can pull that off. So let's go like this. Pull him over here on the page. Phil, are you some kind of YT comment-based psychic, huh? I love your attitude. So I think it's been twice you commented about unseen messages between my postings, and it's showing. Phil, are you saying that you're seeing it too, or that it's showing that I'm freaking crazy? Because I can see you reading that. I can see that going either way. Where'd that guy go? You, my dude. There, like that. But yes, I am some sort of psychic. Okay, I can get away with that because I don't need to have that front tip. I can get away with having that there. I think that is going to work. Retransform. We can skew. Nice. Bring this up. That back. Push that back. I don't want to have too much too soon. I want to keep those transparencies a bit. This guy. This guy can go there, and I have to work. Now I'm working on spacing to make sure that each of the silhouettes has its own signature. But don't get in the way of each other, you know? So that guy is okay there. I can get these three things. I can pull them down here. And this guy in the back, I can free transform. All right, this guy back here, I can free transform. If you can notice, I am using the text frame around this to manipulate how much of the image I actually need to illustrate. I can use this this buffer here, and I can fade it down. I don't know if I'm going to go with fade or tears. Sometimes I do sheet tears, and like it's peeling out of the page. Sometimes I do fades into the environment. I don't have a specific language defined for that yet, but I need to. And I also need to mind, and sometimes I want to mind the borders, but I don't want to chop off the edges, right? So I'm going to do like this fade effect off of the edges. Another idea I had, I'm really excited about, is how the astral sea fades things out, like blurs it out over time. I think I can get away with moving between color and black and white art, or like just like line art, by like how deep into the astral sea the characters are. I can wash out all of the color on the characters in the astral sea, so they're just line art. And then as you move into wild space, there's more, it's full color. So I can dip back and forth between sketch art and color art depending on where geographically they're positioned in the multiverse. It's an idea that I'm playing with. So we'll have to see how it actually manifests. But I'm kind of excited about that idea. So here, that arm is too big. Drop it down. Again, this is just sketching right now, so we'll end up building this out proper. But this is probably text reading size here. Where are we at? 30%. So I don't need to get super intense on the detail, though I definitely want to. That's always that is a constant struggle that I face. That I'm compelled to do more and more and better and like more depth, more art, more better. And I have to curb that shit. So I got a lot of these illustrations. I've got 97 pages, and so far I've got like. Basically, it's averaging out to be like one illustration per page right now, which is nightmarish. I can't have that stand. We're going to get into token stuff. Like we can start doing diagrams and things using tokens, which will be a much easier lift because we already built all the tokens. So I can make diagrams of like scaling grid maps and tokens on those maps to create that quote unquote illustration space. But things like this, like actual illustration, they take time, and I'm not so great of an artist that I can just, you know, wave my wand and the thing is fucking done. It's just like I have to grind these things out, meat flesh style like this, and it's an ordeal. So God's willing, we're going to be able to produce some results that are going to be satisfying here. It makes it worth our time. Which is why I'm constantly shilling my books, because like just the amount of time that goes into making these things is goddamn ridiculous. And I really make it a lot of effort. I make it even more work because I write the thing, and then I illustrate it too, which is awesome because I can depict exactly what I want on a page. But it's just the indie project production time is just insane. So, but yeah, I am happy with this crew. Like this. I think I get all the language across what I'm trying to get across here. That's exciting. So that means I can make these things a bit bigger to fill up the space more. Pardon the pun. There's our crew. Yogi. You know, when I started this, I did not realize I was only going to be working on this illustration today. But hey, content, happy to do it. And I can take this and I can step this guy up a little bit more. Now. Oh my god, get out. Thank you. Okay, transform equals skew. There. Actually, do need to bring that down. I think I can get away with that. That positioning looks pretty good. Cool. And Yogi. This is one of the encounters in the Lattice or Axis conversion that we did, where Theurgy ambush your ship while you're in an asteroid field. I'm particularly proud of that one. You can go back to my stream, like if you check the playlist, like I want to say, I want to say like around episode 25, maybe 20s. There's the Theurgy ambush encounter map that we were creating, where you can you have to like dive through clusters of asteroids to be able to move to other areas. It's like moving from one room to another in a dungeon because of the shifting nature of the asteroids moving around in clumps. So you have to dodge through these narrow passages of different asteroids, like a doorway. But it's a skill check. You have to make a pilot check to dive through these spaces. And if you fail the check, you get through the space, but you take damage from careening off of an asteroid. And it could cause your pilot to lose concentration. So it's 7:30. All right, this is our last 20 minutes. So that's what I'm illustrating here. So I love that. I want to take more time and build out that concept a little bit more. But the idea of, I'm gonna actually create a space here. Get rid of that. I don't need to crowd it too much. But I want to dive deeper into that idea. So like as you go through going through different doors is a trap. So if you want to go through a door, you have to make your skill check. If you fail your skill check, you take damage. Your ship could get scuttled. You lose your concentration, and you're dead in the doorway. So that allows the enemy ship to come up and attack you and potentially zoom in to the 50-foot to engage you in dogfighting, or the 5-foot scale if they can actually board your ship. So that is something that I want to spend more time in a separate tear out product to like really explore asteroid combat. And we have the system. I mean, we have the mechanical system to do it. So like if anyone's going to do it, it would be this. But it's good enough. It has the map. It has the encounter spaces. It has the gates, like gates to be able to move through. It's got the scaling system, and it allows you to. And if you can get out, and I mean, obviously the characters are supposed to get out, but so once you get out intact, you catch up to a patrol, a ship patrol outside of. Jurisdiction of Rock of Brawl, hunting for a Theurgy slaver ship that you've encountered. And so if your ship is strong enough, or if the team is motivated, you can then lead that patrol back into the asteroid field to start hunting the Theurgy instead. So you can flip the script on them. And it's your first opportunity as characters to command a squadron of galleons. Working in unison, so you have 3 galleons inside of your 500-foot square that's acting as just one single squadron. So the way that I was talking about, you can command more than one weapon at a time by stacking up the reload dice. Like the higher reload die becomes, the less likely it is that you're going to be able to fire weapons. To have all those weapons reload at the same time, and if they don't, then you have to spend a reaction or an attack, one of your attack actions to specifically reload each weapon. So you do great until you don't. It's like craps. You have a good run until you crap out, and then you have to spend all this time getting your crew to re-coordinate so they can get back into the rhythm of firing the weapons all together. You can do the same thing with ships. So if you expand out to have a squadron of ships inside of a 500-foot space, it's the same as like having a cluster of ballistas inside of a 50-foot space. It just scales up by 10. So you can have all three, you can take command of all three of those ships using your orrery, the wild space orrery, to have a heads-up display that you can see where the ships are coordinated, and then you can coordinate the ships between the two using verbal communication with the team that you're syncing through the message relayer that's built into the orrery stations. So you have a heads-up display of where your ships are in comparison to the environment around it, identical to the maps that you're using. So it becomes a Ludo narrative looking at the map on the table of your game. That becomes the map that your characters are seeing, engaging ships through this holographic effect. And then you're using the audio messenger relay. Once you synchronize all of your orreries together as a focus, basically you focus on your orrery and you sync up with other ships that are within area to be able to coordinate your communication together, and then you take command of those ships, and then their actions are subsumed by your actions. They're waiting for your command to act, kind of like a complex reaction that just gets kind of folded in to the action economy of like a ranger commanding a creature to attack, like a Drake Warden commanding its Drake to attack. It kind of has that same functionality. So anyway, that's the language that goes on behind that stuff, and it's just using what exists in 5e and just kind of reflavors and creates just variant narratives of how all this stuff works, if that makes sense. But the playtesting went really well. The math all curves out. And pretty much everyone that's touched this thing so far is excited that it exists. So I don't want to put words in Hornetico's mouth, but he was one of our playtesters, and freaking cool. It's just cool. Like all these limbs that these ships have are melee weapons, are ship melee weapons. Like they're sharpened, like they're blades that can like saw at your ship, or they're piercing that can stab your ship and then grip, so you can have a hold of a ship. Or if you're large enough, you can grapple. That's fun stuff. It is pretty neat. So I'm excited. But you know, it's just a tool set for people to reimagine how they're doing things. You know. Anyway, thanks, man. I didn't want to put you on the spot like that, dude. Actually, I did want to put you on the spot like that, so I appreciate you letting me put you on the spot like that. But hey, you get a free copy. Cheers. Yeah, I think this is a pretty fun space. So what I need to do now is clean up this Nyogi a little bit so it doesn't look so shitty. It makes me really, really excited for Dragonlance, because building out the mass combat system for that army-themed campaign is going to be really fun. And it really drives into the kind of game that I like to play of like disposable heroes, you know? Like, you can set up Dragonlance to basically, you're just like from the get-go, you start off in command of a platoon. And you can, you know, command the platoon to attack enemy threats, and if your special flower character gets killed, then fuck them. Just pull, you know, the next guy gets recruited. Rico, take a bow. You get to pull from ranks your replacement character, and you automatically trust that character inserted into the team because they were in your ranks. They were one of, you know, they're one of your troops. So if your character dies, you just swap them out for who's next. So that's, honestly, I think that's going to be really, really special. Let's get that there. Close that off for now, but we can come back and grab that color reference if we want to later. Here. Wait. Right, different. The night spider has a huge abdomen, but the spiderling has a small abdomen. On the page, like literally okay, so you have pre-generated ships, right? So we have vessels, we have cost, we have pre-generated ships, we have craft, right? But oh, where the hell did Spiderling go? Get back on screen. I'm such a goofball. That explains why I have this weird gap here. I'm like, why do I have this gap? That's why. There. Like, why is that missing? Okay, good. There it is. Boop. Boop. Vessel. Craft. Right, so you have this list of pre-generated ships. Here's all the ones that were in the Spelljammer's Adventures in Space and how it breaks down into the system that we use. And then on the next one we have craft, which are the things that we created. And the very last one is a spiderling, right? And so now we drop down here into the combat section right after that. The next thing what we look at is a spiderling attacking a crew. There we go. Reference doc. Get to use my drafting skills again here. You know, I could theoretically take. So I've got this. I got the pre-generated. I've got the spell jamming ships, all the mechanics for building the spell jamming ships, the pre-generated ships, and then it dives into combat. I could technically just drop an entire page in here, and just put all of these fighter craft, like all these fighter crafts, floor plans, deck plans, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like stack them in here, just like as a full page, as a full page thing. Like it's not an illustration. It's just schematics. Like there, at this point in this document, you have absolutely no idea what any of these craft look like. And if you have the Spelljammer's Adventure of Space, you know what these vessels look like. And there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There's fucking 22 ships. I could theoretically just take a full page here and have vessels at the top, and stack those out, and then have craft here, and then lay those out down here as well. That might actually not be a bad idea. And it would just be do a page break here, or rather do a page break here and just drop it in, and then just lay them all in there. I might actually need to do that. That would probably be the best way to get people on board with, like, what are we talking about? What are we looking at? I think I'll do that. That was great idea. Thanks, guys. It's brilliant. I don't like that angle, though. Shit. Let's try it again. Yogi. Oh shit, I just locked up. Alright, hit save. Oh well, it's 7:55. I only got a few minutes left anyway. Actually, nah, I'm not happy with staying here. I want to. We didn't even get to this page. God damn, I am deep. Well, I'm exhausted, and I warn people, when I get exhausted, I stay on the same. I'll stay on the same illustration. I'll just mash on it like more than I should, which is what ends up causing me to create more detail than I would normally intend for a piece. So right now I'm just outlining my own work. But yeah, that page of token art, like that page worth, that was worth the entire stream. To have that idea, completely worth it. I want to do schematic. I want to do schematic pages for all the vessels and craft anyway to put into a zip file. because of the amount of weaponry that we add to the game, like all the melee ship weapon, like ship melee weapons and ranged ship weapons, mounted weapons and siege weapons. There's those 4 categories, right? Ship melee, you got like siege ship melee weapons. You've got siege ranged ship weapons. You've got mounted ship melee weapons, and you have siege ship melee weapons. So you got those 4 categories, and so it's like melee weapons and ranged weapons at the mounted range, at the mounted weapon size, and the siege weapon size. Siege weapons do 10 times damage. Mounted weapons tend to do like 2d x damage. Like a harpoon flinger from Descent into Avernus does 2d8 damage. It's like a it's like a small ballista. Like it does half the damage that a ballista does, basically, because a ballista does d4 times 10 damage, up to 40 damage versus a harpoon flinger, which does, less. Here and then shit. Alright, we are officially out of time. I just want to play with this distort real quick. Here, in perspective. Yes! Perfect. Fucking perfect. Now we can round that out. Save, and then this here. Free transform. Perspective. And skew. You know what? I said I was going to do Eberron art tonight, but I might do Eberron tomorrow morning. I may continue this or other pages tonight. I'm going to let the muse decide what she wants to work on. Wherever she's inspired to go the most is where I want to be, honestly. Wherever she wants to go, I will follow. So I'm going to leave her in charge of that. But yeah, stream is done. I gotta get out of here. I got day job I gotta get to, so I can earn my keep. And here, let's throw some perspective again real quick. Let's skew a little bit more. Not quite. There we go. I noticed that I haven't left yet. Damn it, Muse. Let me go, baby. Let me go. This guy's just gonna be like that. Oh, I am really looking forward to diving into this stuff. So much fun. These things are nasty. This thing is just gonna tear you the fuck apart. This is a really, really dangerous piece of machinery. Like, this thing gets on deck with your ship, you are fucking dead. God, what a badass piece of machinery. Fuck. All right, I'm getting pretty content with how that's sitting. This is gonna be a cool little piece, man. This is the kind of artwork I want to put in this book, like just people like actually interacting and fighting ships and shit. So it's man, I'm excited. This is gonna be so cool. All right, so that's it for today, or for this morning. I will be back on later on tonight. I will probably end up working on this, which probably means I'll be doing Eberron tomorrow morning. Because I want to pay attention. I want to give respect to the Eberron project, even though this is my priority right now. That when that Eberron project pops after this is out of the way, that is going to be just like full tilt. So I want to make sure I'm putting a little bit of time in on it each week, but I definitely need to prioritize this. So I will be done for now. We'll be back tonight at some point whenever it makes sense, and yeah, so thanks a lot for being here. Like, subscribe, check out the books I have down below in the description. Give me a shout out if you know where I'm at on Discord, or follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney, and we'll just keep on keeping on. So I will see you guys later on tonight. Bye.